Okay, so first of all, for anyone who doesn't know, the most important news to share is that Chris is going to be free tonight, right? He's been bonded. And the question is, what is Chris's crime, right? And now, just to give you an update, now they're saying Chris's crime is disturbing the peace. Right, we know. We know that that's just the legal cover, right? We know that Chris's real crime, Chris's real crime is that he speaks truth to power. And so they arrest him, and they originally charged him with battery on an officer and assault with a deadly weapon, which we should note is a strikeable felony offense, right? And the DA today explained in court that that charge was filed because the cop's ear hurt from Chris's microphone. I'm not kidding.
They fire guns every day. They fire guns every day. What the fuck?
Exactly. What the fuck? Exactly. And it's that what the fuck that had him now in Santa Rita for these 2 days on $105,000 bail, right? But of course the DA can't do anything with such flagrantly bullshit charges, right? So they couldn't file those charges, and instead when we finally get to court today, they filed only this minor disturbing the peace charge, which they're now trying to use to revoke his probation. So I call him Coward Jordan because he's got full control of that meeting and an entire police force at his disposal, and he goes after Chris for his megaphone, and he doesn't even have the decency to do it right then and there at the church, but he has his goons do it later.
You know, they say that Chris hurt the cops' ears. I think they hurt the cops' pride. I think he hurt his pride. I think they hurt his feelings. I think Chris hurt that pig's feelings. I mean, if that pig got feelings, that's what he did, right? Because that pig got some hurt feelings, don't make up any motherfucking excuse to arrest you. Because he didn't ever touch him. He wasn't even alone the whole time he was at the church. He wasn't alone the whole time he walked down to the parking lot. He was around people the entire time. Everybody knows Chris didn't touch none of those pigs. They made that up, talking about, oh, our ears hurt. The ears hurt because if the truth hurts. The truth hurts when you defend a murderer. The truth hurts when you stand up against it, when you stand up for injustice and act like you're the right man because they in blue. The people in blue are the biggest gang in California. They're the biggest gang in America. The police union has so much power, we can't even confirm what cop killed Alan Bluford. I bet we couldn't even confirm what cop arrested Chris right now because the police union says we can't find out. Being citizens of this United States of America, we can't find out who murdered somebody, who shot a man in the back 3 times and then shot himself to cover it up, and we can't find out his name and can't have that confirmed. That ain't that. America's supposed to be land of the free, home of the brave. That's a motherfucking illusion. We know it ain't been the land of the free and the home of the brave. The brave was stepped on by the colonizers. The indigenous was stepped on when the folks got off them boats. They start killing people, and they ain't never stopped.
That's right.
Excuse me. I give a little fuck. Free Chris.
The arresting officer of Chris, his name is Sergeant Beer. And Beer has served in Iraq, and Beer was in Fallujah. And so if any of you know anything about Fallujah, it saw some of the most violent destruction of the U.S. armed forces in Iraq. They used white phosphorus and other kinds of chemical warfare, and it has left behind a barrage of birth defects. And this is not just like in the human population, it's also in the animal population. Like, they've just really sort of decimated, like a Hiroshima, they've just decimated a city. And there's something about that metaphor that really speaks to what's happening here in Oakland.
Who we should be going to protest and argue, put up our protest against, we got to break that police union down, because it's the police union that is protecting these police officers. We got to start doing something to fight that Bill of Rights. You can put Oscar Grant, Sean Bell, Trayvon Martin on trial or you could put Alan Bluford on trial, and they could come out and do the character assassination, but the Bill of Rights makes sure that nothing happens to these police officers. You can't say nothing about them. But if we could pull out their records, I bet a lot of them would have murders, a lot of them would have assaults, a lot of them would have, and these are the people that they want to continue to patrol our streets. We can't have that no more.
This world is really, really fucked up right now. And Chris is speaking out. Chris sees it and he speaks his mind. Loudly and proudly and with strength and courage that I've never seen in another human being before. He is the most inspiring person that I've ever seen in my whole life. Watching him say fuck the police every Saturday night at the top of his lungs changed me as a person. 3 weeks ago, I screamed fuck the police at the top of my lungs on Saturday night. And it felt incredible.
Right,
fuck the fucking police.
Fuck the police.
And they came and snatched him out of a fucking parking lot and took him off to jail as a political prisoner because he speaks his mind.
I was out here a lot of the times doing FTP with Chris when it was 10 people, and 5 of them were streamers. Okay? I love that we're here now, but it matters every day. I've been sitting in my room crying because I thought I was alone, because I didn't believe there was anybody that was willing to fight. I can say a lot of things about Chris, but one of them for sure is that he is always willing to fight. And regardless if we get into it, he got my back. He will always remember that the police was the enemy first. So we need to stop infighting on Facebook and Twitter. I can't say it enough. We get along face to face. Then we get on the internet and start tripping. That's why, Chris, you can't get in contact with him through Facebook and Twitter, if any of y'all realize that. He don't even like getting on the shit because we fight so much. The same person who always is not only willing to risk going to jail, but does go to jail. Helping the same homeless people that we leave on 14th and Broadway and 19th and Telegraph when we go home. I leave them too. So, I went out and cussed city council out. Y'all my family, I don't want to cuss at y'all. I really don't want to cuss at y'all, but we gotta do better. I keep saying I don't want to live in this world because people are willing to stand by and just let the police fucking kill us. Even if you don't have a job, if you're buying fucking water, if you're paying any sort of taxes, we are paying them to kill us. Then we pay the lawsuit. We pay it. They don't give a fuck. It's all on us. Then they turn the citizens against us. It's people in city council that live in the uptown apartments that would rather the police gas us than face the truth. I say we don't forget about the other parts of Oakland. We've been West Oakland. We've been downtown. I'm from East Oakland. It bothers me when the police keep coming and killing the people in my community. And nobody does anything but sit in church and fucking cry. I'm tired of this shit. You should be too.
This is good that a lot of people came out here to support him. He deserves it. He does a lot. He really goes out his way for a lot of other people too. And like how she said, he's willing to get arrested. When I talked to him on the phone, he was like, "You don't have to bail me out. I'll do my time." That's some real shit. For real though, that's some real shit. Yeah though, Chris, that's my nigga though. Yeah, and like all the infighting needs to stop and all that weird shit needs to stop. Chris supports people being masked up, and you know he supports autonomy. So like we must remember that we all out here together. Because with Chris, this is like really like for Chris.
Chris and Melvin are the first 2 men I've met in my life, beside my sons, who literally felt like family to me. And they are people who, if you listen to them, if you really listen to them, have a political message that goes beyond screwing the police. It's a bigger message about this humanity if you listen to them. So, for people who are here, I would just say that support Chris not extracurricularly, but support them in your house and take it back to your neighborhoods. And if you show up here once a week or once a month or so, make sure that the lessons you learn here go into your own neighborhoods, resonate within your own families, within the office of city council, within the police department. The police department in many ways are just pawns in this bigger game. There are things that can be done that can alter the system, beginning with banks and lobbyists and politicians who kiss their behinds. And if we attack the true enemy first, the police will fall into place. So all power to the people.
One of the main things that OPD is aimed at is getting this town ready for real estate developers, for corporate people who are moving block by block through Oakland, and the police are working directly with them. Captain Toribio sat down with these, they call them BIDs, Business Investment Districts. The city has handed over the ability to hire security, to do landscaping, to do hardscaping to these people. And they have sat down with the police to find out what kind of construction will send homeless people away from 13th and Broadway. Not homes. What kind of construction will make them go somewhere else so they can develop 13th and Broadway? That's their next target. This has been going on a long time. They want us gone because we are not commercial. I want you to know that. And what the gentleman just said about getting to these corporate people and to these corporations and blowing this open is real important.
Now, my brother changed my life. You may not know Chris like I know this young man, but this young man got a lot of talent. I said this young man got a lot of potential. I say this young man has changed a lot of lives. But instead they want to sit here, beat his ass, and lie, and say this man has assaulted a peace officer. Well, how fucking peaceful were you? I say, how fucking peaceful were you to see this warrior that was fighting on the other side because his little brother and sister school was getting closed down, because his little brother and sister couldn't go to the library like he and his friends could and get a proper education. Do they understand why it took a couple of young men to start a committee called the Technical Action Committee? Can I get a amen? Yes, he was a man. I said, we need an hallelujah on that one. Hallelujah. Now on that hallelujah, we're going to have to say this. Everybody out here for a reason. We all in the same boat. We know that everybody that steps on a boat don't mean that you can swim. But if you try, you might make it back to the shore. So we want to be for sure that our brother is coming back home on shore. Even though they want to throw him starboard over the side of the deck. We don't give a fuck. We say, free at last, free at last. From the Okanagan police, kiss our ass. Yes, kiss our ass.
How y'all doing this evening? Can y'all hear me? Can you guys hear me? How you guys doing this evening? Well, we don't have a red blowhorn at home, but we do have an extra blue one if anybody wants to borrow it for tonight. This is really amazing for you guys to all be out here for my son. I just want to thank each and every last one of you for all your support, for all the love, for everything that you guys do as far as the Occupy movement is concerned. When the Occupy movement first started, Christopher was not a part of that. And it was really the mark of something really extraordinary and really big, even before Christopher was your comrade, and that is what I truly do believe. And since Christopher has been in the Occupy, it seems like more people have come together. I would have never thought that so many different people, young people, old people, girls that's from the hood, you know what I mean? I would not have really, seriously, I would have not, not to be disrespectful to anyone, but I would have never imagined anything as beautiful as this. And for everyone who came to court today, I want to tell you thank you. If you really paid attention to the look on Christopher's face when he turned around and seen all of y'all there in support of him. Did you take a look at the judge's face when he looked and seen everybody too? Man, I did. Yeah, me too. But once again, I just want to tell all of you thank you very much. And keep up the good work. The world is watching very, very closely. And whatever you guys do, just make sure that it's worth it. Everything, all the yelling, getting up in people's faces, being on the blowhorns, helping out the homeless, feeding the homeless, staying away from your own families. Just make sure that everything that you do from here on out, from this point, make sure that it is worth it. That is the only way that it is justifiable, is when it is worth it.